Someone once told me that the Beatitudes are better expressed as the Beatitudes. That is, that the Beatitudes summarize for us the kind of attitude that we should have as Christians. So this sixth Sunday in ordinary time, I will invite you to focus on your attitude to life. Because I believe that if you change your worldview, you will change your attitudes. So if you want to change your attitudes, then you should better work on your mindset, your worldview. How do you look at your life? How do you look at yourself? How do you look at the world? How do you interpret what you see? These are all the things that shape our attitudes to life. But the Christian worldview is really what is captured for us in the Beatitudes. That is, the way we should be, the way we should live as Christians in the world. And I think that Christianity is a way of life. Jesus came to earth to introduce to us a way of life, a vision of life, how to look at life, a worldview. And the readings today present to us this worldview in a very concrete manner. In the first reading from the prophet Jeremiah, we learn that the Christian attitude should be shaped by trust in God. That is why the prophet says, "Woe to those who put their trust in human beings, who put their trust in themselves." The prophet is not saying that you should not believe in yourself. Rather, he's saying that you should not absolutize yourself as the beginning and end of all things. Nor should you put your fate and your fortune in the hand of human beings. Because human beings are imperfect. Like St. Augustine says, that imperfection is our lot as human beings. So human beings will fail. And they do fail sometimes. If you put your trust, if you put your future in the hand of a human being, then the prophet says that you are setting yourself up for failure. But if you put your trust in God, if you put your life in the hand of God, then your life will be like a watered garden. Your life will be like a tree that has deep roots in the waters of divine love. You will be like that tree planted on fertile ground, and you will be basking in the sunshine of divine love. You will be protected. You will be safe. These are the same words that we hear from the prophet Isaiah. In Isaiah 40:31, it says that those who trust in the Lord will be renewed in strength. They will mount on the wings of the eagles. They will run and never be weary. The same words that we hear from Psalm 125 that says, "Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord. He or she will be like Mount Zion that cannot be shaken." So the Christian attitude is to trust God. That we do not know what the future holds, but we know who holds the future. And we put our lives in the hand of God. And when human beings fail us, or when we fail ourselves, we will not despair, because we are not perfect. God is perfect. And even in the contradictions that we might find ourselves, trusting in God helps us to place everything in God's hand, hoping that God will take us to that future that He alone knows. And we find in the second reading from St. Paul's letter to the Corinthians, St. Paul says to us, our trust emerges from our faith. Our faith will not fail us because we do not believe in a phantom. We do not believe in an idol. We believe in the Son of God who rose from the dead, who conquered evil, and who is able to conquer evil in our lives, who is able to conquer death in our lives, and who is able to reverse anything, no matter how bad it is. Broken lives, wounded lives, broken relationships, wars, destruction. That God is able to do this because nothing is impossible to God. The one who was able to raise God's Son from the dead can raise us also from decay and from death. And sometimes in life we know that we do meet death. We meet a dead situation. Despite all our efforts, our human efforts fail us. Our friends might fail us and disappoint us and betray us. But then St. Paul is telling us to put our faith in God. No matter where you are in life today, the Christian attitude is that of faith and trust in God. Finally, we meet in the gospel today the Beatitudes, the kind of attitude that we are being asked as Christians to embrace. Indeed, the Beatitudes, in my own thinking, are a commentary on the life of Jesus. Blessed are the poor. Jesus made himself poor for our sake. Blessed are those who hunger for justice. Jesus was hungry for justice. He was wounded. He wept over Jerusalem. He wept over a broken and wounded humanity. So when we hear blessed are those who weep, we think in our own tears of the tears of Jesus shed over Jerusalem, of the tears of Jesus shed when he saw the destruction of life, when he beheld the dead body of his friend Lazarus. We think of Jesus as the one who was condemned, rejected by people. So when Jesus says, blessed are you when people reject you, when they condemn you, he's telling you to think of Jesus, think of me. Blessed are the poor. Now Jesus reverses the standards of this world. The attitude of our world is that of power, of dominion, of money, the idols of money, of nationalism, and all the social hierarchies we create that divide us from one another. And here Jesus is telling us that the attitude that we should put on is the attitude of being poor, of being humble, of fighting, hungering for righteousness, not giving up in the face of evil. The attitude of hope, even when things appear not to be going well all around us. That is what we are being invited to embrace, that mind that is in Jesus, so that we can transform our world. The good news for us, brothers and sisters, is that you can change your life by changing your attitude. And that's what we call conversion. That you can place your trust in your life in the hand of God, in trust. Just like the psalmist says today, blessed are those who put their hope in the Lord. So as you put your hope in the Lord, and as you walk every day to change your attitude, may your life be transformed by the power of God's grace, walking mightily in your life. Amen.